Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Asiya Mukhtar here, and we are about to start our program for the CENTAG. The Center for Excellence in Non-Traditional Security and Governance, CENTAG, is an innovative institution dedicated to addressing contemporary security challenges that fall outside the scope of traditional military concerns. These include issues such as environmental security, food security, health security, cyber security, and transnational crime. The center's primary functions encompass research, policy analysis, capacity building, fostering international collaboration to develop comprehensive strategies for managing these complex and interrelated threats. The logic behind the center's formation stems from the recognition that 21st century security landscape is increasingly shaped by non-traditional threats that require holistic and interdisciplinary approaches. Traditional security frameworks focused predominantly on state-centric military threats are inadequate for addressing the multifaceted nature of modern security challenges. By concentrating on non-traditional security and governance, the center aims to provide a nuanced understanding of these issues and to promote effective, sustainable solutions that enhance resilience and stability at local, national, and global levels. Now, something about today's discussion. This is first lecture of the series we are going to offer on climate literacy to raise awareness about the intersection and interrelation between environment and academia. We hope to create a wave of climate activism among Pakistani academia. So our topic is very interesting for today's discussion. It is symbiotic relationship between post-human literature and environment. The symbiotic relationship between post-human literature and environment is a profound and multifaceted topic that explores how these two realms influence and enrich each other. Literature has long been a mirror reflecting our interactions with the natural world, shaping our perceptions, values, and ethical considerations towards the environment. From the vivid description of pastoral landscapes in classic poetry to the urgent call for the conservation in contemporary environmental literature, written works have the power to deepen our connection to nature and inspire action. Conversely, the environment provides a rich source of inspiration for writers, offering endless possibilities for metaphors, symbolism, and thematic explorations. Understanding this dynamic interplay can reveal much about our cultural attitudes towards the environment and potential for literature to drive ecological awareness and change. And now something about our speaker, Dr. Qurratulaen Liaqat, Associate Professor, English Department, FCCU, and the founder of Pakistan Posthuman Network, will talk about how English literature over the ages has played a crucial role in climate awareness and highlighted post-anthropocentric concerns through climate fiction and eco-poetry. So thank you so much, Dr. Qurratulaen, for being with us. Would you please introduce this topic in a brief way?
Thank you so much, Dr. Asiya and the entire CENTAG team. I'm really honored to be the part of this wonderful initiative. So to begin with, you have very wonderfully, very succinctly have described the relationship between post-human literature and environment. Literature has always been a parable where we see not only human beings but also non-human objects around human characters, be they trees, animals, and other material objects. Starting from Homer's Iliad, the classical Greek literature, Sophocles' Oedipus Rex, where the entire city is suffering just because human beings have committed a sin. That sin led to environmental disaster, and that theme continued in Shakespeare as well. In all Shakespearean tragedies, we observe that whenever there is a human action which was not according to the ethical and moral consideration of the society or of the humanity, there would always be a disorder in nature. And that trend continued till the contemporary literature. My research is mainly in two fields. One is post 9/11 theater, and in my book, I discuss it that how wars, they are a threat to both environment, human beings, and non-human objects around us. But also, my other research field is post-humanism, how we need to go beyond the human characters, human actors, and think about what comes after human and how we can connect it in terms of developing our world and making it a more equitable place for our multi-species environment.
Dr. Qurratulaen, what is post-humanism and how does it shift our perspective regarding environment?
Post-humanism is an emerging philosophy in the West, in the Euro-American part of the world. A lot is being done and a lot is being written about post-human philosophy. But when it comes to Pakistan, even in India, there are so many books about post-human philosophy. But when we come to Pakistan, there are not many books available in the field of post-humanism. Post-human philosophy basically believes that we need to go beyond human-centered world. We need to go beyond human, and that's called post-human. And that also connects human with whatever is around us, and it also thinks of it also forces us to think about our environment, the species around us, technology around us. So post-humanism is a broad term. And the world is shifting and changing into interdisciplinary formats, both research and teaching and education. So post-humanism, for me, it's this vantage point from where we can initiate interdisciplinary researches, interdisciplinary education, and especially environment. That would be, I think, one of the most important fields which will benefit a lot from post-human angles.
So when we discuss environment and post-humanism, what does it mean to be post-human?
When we discuss environment, being post-human means that you think more of environment. You are more caring towards environment rather than human elements around you. For example, you are there and a human and a tree both need water. So you would consider a human and a plant and or a tree as deserving of receiving that water source as a human being is deserving of that. So we need to come out of our human-centric approach and go post-anthropocentric in order to become and connect post-humanism with environment.
So it is more like ecocentric view. Even when we discuss the environment and politics, so we discuss all these perspectives, and the ecocentric view is more environmental friendly, and the post-humanism is actually drifting that discussion from human-centric to environment-centric.
Yes, you're right.
So how the field of post-humanism is associated with the field of international relations and environment?
Recently, I attended a conference and I was so amazed to listen to people's discussion about how international relations and politics, they are moving from more human-centric to post-human angles. For example, water security, food security, environmental security. If you talk about water, I think what I understood by the implications of post-humanism for IR and for political sciences. Now, in international politics and international relations, perhaps technology would emerge as one of the most important actors. So that gives us a way to think about how post-human technologies are they are influencing international relations, foreign affairs, diplomacy all around the world. Also, how water, petroleum, and all other energy generation objects, or weapons, even weapons. Weapons are also material, non-human objects. So they are also very, very important to think about, and we need to shift the research and education from human to post-human and non-human circles, because that will give us a chance to look at all traditional things in an innovative and unique way.
So, Dr. Qurratulaen, post-humanism, you think, is more associated with non-traditional security threats, because in non-traditional security threats, we discuss environment, climate, water, food, health, everything. You think that post-humanism is more associated with the non-traditional security?
Yes, it is. It is. It gives us this chance to think less of humans and think more about other things which sustain us. Because without them, human beings cannot flourish, they cannot survive. And now the world is talking more and more about it, how the environment is more important to sustain if we want to continue and if we don't want human species, human race to go extinct.
Now I will go towards just a little bit, practical side of this discussion. And would you please shed light that how a post-human approach can be useful for working for the climate and other non-human elements involved in the emerging environmental threats?
Well, talking honestly, it's very, very important, and it can be very useful. Unfortunately, in Pakistan, it has not yet started. How we can use a more post-human and eco-critically aware vocabulary with which we can create channels of environmental activism, and we can plead for environmental justice. We just need to talk in a language which is more eco-critically aware. That would really help us, and that would practically make us think, and not only us, academia, but also policymakers, students, citizens. We need to talk in a language which is more equitable, which is more all-inclusive, and which will help us in thinking along post-human lines.
As a matter of fact, environment has become such element that is now part and parcel of every discussion, and basis of every discussion. We cannot ignore it, whether it is the security or the military or the human life or the food or the clean water and everything. So why do non-human elements around us need more attention and taken care of in the realm of non-traditional security?
I just got this idea by your question. Just imagine that somehow our part of the world, because of the ecological crisis, it becomes unlivable, uninhabitable. What would you do? You would migrate. That would create an international crisis.
And that is part of non-traditional security.
Yes, that would create an international crisis. What if we do not have enough water? What if we do not have enough food? That would create an international level crisis.
Obviously.
And that would have an impact.
Human level crisis.
A human level crisis, and that would impact Pakistan's foreign policy, Pakistan's diplomacy policy, and that would be a very strong influential element, and that's coming up. We have never thought about non-human elements. It's time we start thinking about it.
Yeah. Why and how the shift to post-human thought will change our perception of the human world around us?
Sorry, come again.
Why and how the shift to post-human thought will change our perception of the human world around us?
Well, first of all, it will make us think less about human beings and us. We call it human arrogance. We think that we are the most important objects and subjects in the entire universe, in this on planet Earth, in this entire realm or universe. So it will help us in thinking and talking about how non-human elements, how post-human elements, be the environment, and you might have seen hundreds our documentaries on National Geographic and all, that how bees are very important for keeping the equilibrium of the environment. So we need to start thinking about how environment and other species, how animals, they also create the ripples and those contacts with which the entire ecosystem keeps on going. So we need to think about other things who are doing very important things. We always keep on thinking about we are doing very important things.
You think that things are drifting quite opposite of anthropocentrism. So it's not just human-centric. So everything is having its part to play in the environment, and everything is in need of proper attention. You want to say this?
Yes, we need to be. It's time that we become more aware about our environment and the non-human elements present around us. These non-human elements may also be the minerals. They may also be different kind of natural resources, and how they are going to change the contours of our relationship with our neighbors. Water has been a main issue of bone of contention between Pakistan and India.
Yes.
So people have been
transboundary
people have been writing about water issues between Pakistan and India. What if we come up with a post-human approach towards writing about Pakistan-India water issues?
Obviously. So will the post-human approach make the world a better place? If yes, then how?
Well, post-human philosophers like Francesca Ferrando, Rossi Pradetti, they really believe that a post-human world is a more equitable, more egalitarian world, where we are giving the fair share, the due acknowledgement to other species, to other non-human elements as well. And once we become aware, once we are more sensitized toward how non-human things are also a part and parcel, and they are our companion species, I think I also agree with Ferrando and Bradetti that yes, the world can be a better place if we start taking care of the non-human and companion species around us.
Dr. Qurratulaen, these things we discussed here, you are well-versed person as far as post-humanism is concerned. We teach all these things in our classes and all. But the point is that the common man is not aware of these things. How to make a common man well aware of all these realities so that they are, taking it easy to change their life patterns, to change their habits towards the environment. Do you think trainings are necessary? Do you think side discussions are necessary?
Discussions and trainings are very, very important. We need to have more awareness programs. And not only from the field of humanities or social sciences, we also need natural sciences to take their part. That's the wonderful thing about post-humanism, because it takes into account natural sciences, computer sciences, social sciences, humanities. So we need each academic discipline to play its part, to play its role, come together and run awareness sessions. We need to make our common man aware about that how he is responsible for the air around him, how he is responsible for the materials around him, this table, this chair. He has to take care of all these things because they are what make their environment. So we need to, this is actually a very good idea for developing global citizens as well, because they'll be more aware and more ready to take the responsibility of the material world around them, non-human world around them, and also the species around us.
So under the banner of CENTAG, it was our purpose to make a little bit effort to make people realize how the future world is going to be changed entirely. I will thank you for your time and for your very informative discussion. And this is not the end of everything. This session will inshallah go on, and we will love to have you for the training of the people for more lectures on environment, on water and water security, food security, and our perception of the world. So again, on the behalf of our CENTAG team, I will thank you for your precious time and your very informative discussion. I hope our audience will really enjoy the talk, and they will get knowledge and insight that is our aim to convey to the people at large. So thank you so much, Dr. Qurratulaen.
Thank you so much, Dr. Asia and CENTAG team, Dr. Aisha, Dr. Shireen, Dr. Kutsia. I wish you all the best. All my best wishes are with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.